Hello, good morning. Sorry about the camera angle, but something that I wanted to share. As I'm reading through the book of James, and in chapter 4, the verse comes up about life, our lives being but a wisp, like a mist, a vapor, actually is the word I think that is used in most translations. And so a couple things. One, do you believe that the Bible is true? What it says about you, what the Bible says about God. And I think most of us, if we're Christians, will say, yes, I believe that the Bible is true. And if the Bible is true, then we have to operate according to that reality. Even though we often don't, right? And when we don't, that is actually a sin. And so I want to point something out that's going to maybe frustrate some of you. It frustrates me personally. I don't like the way this works, but it's the truth, right? And so let's start from a small child, like let's say a 2-year-old, 1-year-old or a 2-year-old. In the life of a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old, if they have, if you've been around little kids, or if you're a parent like I am and you have kids, you've seen this often. 2, 3-year-olds, they have what we might call a bad day, right? Where they have something that they wanted something and couldn't have it. And so they have this just extreme meltdown. And they may even say, if they can speak at that age, bad day or having a bad day. And it's so much to them, right? It's huge. And if you think about that, you're like, well, if they're only 2 or 3 years old, even 4 hours is still a chunk of time in the entirety of their life, right? And so if they had a bad year, for example, a 4-year-old, that'd be 25% of their life as a bad year. Like, that's a lot, right? But when you get to be our age, or I'll say my age, when you get to be in your 50s, some of you are probably older than me, wiser, much wiser than me. But let's say you're in your 50s, a bad day, it's a vapor. In the grand scheme of things, it's but a vapor. And God looks at our entire life, 50-some years. Went to a memorial service yesterday for a man who only lived to be 55. But even 100 years old, in the scope of eternity, it's a vapor. So God is telling us that we are like these toddlers when we throw fits, when we get really anxious, when we get really angry, when we get really worked up over something that is in a piece of time that is so small and infinitely small. So instead of focusing on our anxiety, our anger, our frustration, can we focus on that which is eternal? Right? The Bible talks about that over and over and over again. We don't focus our minds on the things that are temporal, but the things that are eternal. Not on the seen, but on the unseen, right? Because that's the thing that's eternal. That's the thing that's not the wisp. So if we believe God, and we believe the Bible, and it says our life is but a vapor, go back to James 1, where he says, can you consider all of these things as actually opportunities? Can you be blessed through the little frustrations and the little anxieties? Absolutely, some of these things are horrible and horrific, right? And we should be grieving things as well. Grief is a powerful spiritual tool and weapon, actually. But let's go to the Lord in our grief. Let's go to the Lord instead of going to anger and frustration. Let's speak the truth in love, but let's speak the truth, right? God always speaks the truth. Your life is but a vapor, but it doesn't have to be a meaningless vapor. You can bind things here that will be bound in heaven. You can loose things here that will be loosed in heaven. Thank you.